What up, Mo? Like, you ready to talk? Like, what's going on?
Look, let's do it. I'm ready.
No, because you've been on like a little podcast tour, and I was confused how you was gonna do a podcast and not do mine. But you also forcing me out of my podcast break that I was on. So now we back with Conversations with a Genius. And why wouldn't I do this without my cousin? So people think we're play cousins. People think we just go around saying we fake cousins, but we're real cousins, like same grandmother, like mothers are sisters, like grew up together, like
Yes. First
kitchen
cousins. We ain't
table, living
second,
room,
third, fourth,
extra
fifth
first.
cousins. This is first.
Listen, we are in a group chat. Shout out to my sister. Shout out to all the cousins. You know what I'm saying? It's actually a couple group chats going on. It'd be. I got a main one, but then there's the side ones that be going on.
Your cousins are extra fake. Your sister too.
Wait, hold on. Why we starting with the smoke? Like, wait a second. What you mean they fake? Like,
because I found out about the side chats like probably a year after they existed. So that means y'all been talking about me on some fake shit. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta call it for what it is. They fake as hell. They come to the main chat, get all the tea, and then they go to
and
the
they go on the
side
side.
and talk shit. Yeah.
That's a fact.
Fake
Because
ass-
they definitely
fake ass people.
hit mine. They definitely hit mine. But nah, shout out to the fam.
Yeah.
We're very close. I also feel like, we all experience a lot of loss in our families. And I think it brought us closer, which is dope. You know how we are. One fight, all fight. One jump, all jump. But we getting older now, Mo. We gotta chill. We all getting kind of old. Like we the aunts and uncles of the.
We got a little left in us though. You know what I'm saying? We just be. It got to be the right situation. It got to be worth the risk. Because when it go down, it's going all the way down. Yeah.
But they don't know. They don't know that you. Yes, we was raised to help fight the streets with each other and hold each other down and we take family very serious, but you'll slap a cousin or two a little bit too. You'll get in there with a family member too, because
I tell people all the time, I fight friends and family. Like the disrespect, we ain't gonna do too much of that, But they jumped me one time.
Oh, here we go. You always say somebody jumped you, like
they did.
Listen, shout out to the family. Shout out to everybody. You know what I'm saying? I felt like, I was always the little cousin that y'all all had to watch and babysit and make sure it was good. And I remember, especially when we was living in Queens, I remember you and your crew was to me at that time was the flyest, most coolest girls in the hood in the block. Like y'all just was I just wanted to be just like y'all, be everywhere with y'all. Like there's mad stories I have, and I'm gonna get right to it. Around that time, I think I was like 12. You was like 15. You had got pregnant, and I remember that was the talk of the family at the time. People, I know you corporate America now and all of that, and we'll get into that, but like they don't know young Modesta outside in the street. Like I ain't saying too much because I don't want, you know what I'm saying? I don't know the statute of limitations with stuff, but like you was really outside.
No, I was gonna say I was definitely outside. I was the one with the red bubble coat, with the red hair, everything red from head to toe. You couldn't tell me, 14, you could not tell
those colors
me.
meant something. Those colors meant something. Everybody couldn't wear them.
Everybody couldn't wear them, and if you come outside, just be ready. Yep.
And I just remember you was just the coolest. You're Jordan, like you was just a New York, like you ever seen Jennifer Lopez Feeling So Good video? And she had on her Timbs, she had the clips on her hair. It just reminded me, you was that to me. But anyway, you got pregnant, and like I said, and you had the baby, you was young, and then shortly after that, you left New York and went to Raleigh. Now, of course, everybody knows our family originated in New York. Well, it originated down south, then New York, and then down south. We're all over. We're back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And you went down there as a single mom, and I feel like as a single teen mom, and as I feel like, people automatically write you off when you become a teen mother, right?
Right.
You are one of the people who got down there, and you wasn't in that long. Like, you really hit the pavement and was like, I'm not going to be a statistic. So was
Right.
that something that just happened, or you had a conscious decision, like, yo, when I get down south and change my
Mm-hmm.
environment, I'm what I have to do.
It was kind of forced upon me because, my mom was in New York. She was outside at this time. My oldest brother was here, and my middle brother was here in and out of prison. And so I remember having a job transfer from New York at the Gap, to down here. And so they put me in Cary. I had no car. I didn't know how to drive. I was relying on public transportation. I would call family, your cousins and your sister probably, and everybody was too busy to pick me up or drop me off. So that hustle was just automatically there. Like, I got to get to work. I got bills to pay. I got a child to take care of. And so that's really just, I had to get it going. From the gate, I walked to Shaw University. My apartment wasn't far. Nasir went to daycare in Walnut Terrace. Shout out to Walnut Terrace,
Shout out
the
to
old
Walnut Terrace.
Walnut
Y'all don't even
Terrace.
know. That's a whole
Yeah,
nother. That's a whole nother
the whole
podcast
yeah,
episode we'll get into.
yeah.
But yeah.
I had to pause real quick. Walnut Terrace really put me back in the day, like when I used to come down south to visit, from New York. That's what really helped me understand that balance with the hood, and we gotta come back to that another time. But yeah, but I started working at the bank as a teller, and it just went up from there. I just knew, living in what is it, Raleigh housing. I wasn't going to get along, but definitely shout out to Raleigh housing, because if it wasn't for them, I don't really know where I would be, because it provided me with an opportunity to afford a living, right? But I gave it like 1 year, maybe two, and I was out. Yeah.
With all you said you worked at the bank, and with all the ties to corporate America,
Uh-huh.
that street girl we talked about before, it's still you still had one foot in the streets. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we still see you out. You know what I'm saying? Doing your thing, the parties, the you tied to a lot of prominent people out there that keep the city moving. You're one of those
Right.
people who, if not helping it keep it going, you're affiliated. So I want to know, how was it? Do you have fun out there? Like, how you feel Raleigh made you after, once you got here and got settled and everything? How you feel it made you?
Yeah. Nah, Raleigh definitely put me on in many ways. I would say the success of my business is definitely because it's people in the city, that physically come and support, or word of mouth. Of course, social media marketing plays a part too. But shout out to Raleigh. I love living here. I love having a business here. There's a lot of dope women in the city, like doing big things, and honestly, I don't feel like a lot of them get enough credit. There's not a lot of collaboration. So anytime I have an opportunity behind scenes to put somebody on, I'll, put them on. Hey, it's a celebrity coming into town. Can you do their makeup? Just having those connections and not expecting anything back in return. Honestly, I feel like it's a part of my major blessing. But I do for people that I would expect for them to do for me. But even if they don't,
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm good. Like, I'm here 4 years in
Mm-hmm.
business in a mall, so I'm about to sign another lease in about 60
Mm-hmm.
days. So, what's up?
Mm-hmm. So you said you love Raleigh. The last time, it made me think of something. The last time I think I did a conversation with a genius was when I would do it on Instagram Live during the pandemic. And the very last one I did was when I interviewed for the reality show Raleigh had, that a couple of
Hmm.
people that in it, and I just wanted to kind of shine light on it. And it was a lot of talk around the city, and I was like, yo, come on my platform and let it off. Like, let us know what's going
Right.
on. And I felt like it caused it caused some drama, and it caused some things, and it made me kind of like, whatever I felt like about home, I consider Raleigh home. Whatever I felt about home,
Hmm.
it left that taste of like, yo,
Yeah.
this is, we were supposed to come together. This moment was supposed to be like,
Right.
those outside, who watch me or watch us that want to make money in Raleigh or want to get it in, I felt like we
Right.
kind of was like, this is why we don't, right? Um,
Yeah.
and then there was a lot of talk, especially with some people that was on it that felt like me, you, and I, conspired
Hmm.
something against them and tried to make them look crazy and all of that. And
Yeah.
we never talked about that publicly. So how you feel about that moment? It made me think about that when you said
Um,
about Raleigh.
so first, let's just put it out there. The moment itself was dope. I think having the turnout that you did was amazing. A lot of people was tuned in. The chat was going crazy. Questions was in there, comments. Um, Ultimately, being prepared for a conversation is important. And for anyone who needed to show up, there was some opportunity in the preparation. There was a lot of aggressiveness too coming
It was
through, which
crazy.
was yeah, it was very confusing. I don't think they understood the intentions were very good.
Yeah, yeah,
Whether we
yeah.
rock with people or not, our DNA, our personality type is it's no smoke. Like
At
unless you got
all.
some unhidden beef, that's on you. That's your problem. But if we come to you on some collaboration, we truly trying to collaborate. We don't have to be buddies to collaborate and get money. It's enough money out here for everybody. So that particular evening, that was crazy. I was like, yeah, that's over with.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Shout out to everybody. That's my favorite saying. Shout out to everybody. Modesta. Like I said, we mentioned our family and we mentioned us, and I know we have rumors. It's a rumor about me all the time somewhere. It's rumors.
Oh,
Is things happen. Public information happen. It's the city big but it's small, and it's a lot of us know. A lot of people. A lot of people don't even know all of our family members and all who
hmm
and then so you gotta. It's funny when somebody mentions somebody and it's probably somebody we know or somebody that we are affiliated with or somebody that's our family, and I'd be like,
hmm
to let you finish talking so I could say, oh, that's my cousin. Like, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like,
yeah.
so, you know what I'm saying? Where everybody got their hands in something. How you feel about the rumors and the talks and the, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
what they
I
be
ain't gonna
putting on
lie.
you? Because I've heard everything in the book about you. Like, so
Yeah.
how you feel
Now
about
the shit be good though. It be some good stuff. Recently I
it?
was told I was dating an NFL player. I was hype about that. You know what I'm saying? Like good
I ain't know
looks,
that
whoever
one.
put
That's
that
some new.
out
That's
there.
new.
Yeah, that's a good one for me. Speak that into existence. Put that out
Yeah.
there. Um, Another one was my deceased husband left me a ton of money stashed in the walls and peep game. That's how I'm able to keep life moving the way I have because he left me in a position. First off, he did leave me some money, but it was not no movie type stashed in walls and but at the end of the day, that was another good one too, because that just goes to show, if anything, they knew we took care of each other, you know.
Yeah.
What was the other one? Oh, the funniest one is that I'm a part of a swinger club. Now that was a good one. But I love it though. Like at the end of the day, a lot of things could be said and none of those things are negative. So, it's a good look.
And even the negative stuff, if you got time to sit around and count people pockets and count what's going on and figure out what's
Yeah.
going on, like get a life. You get what I mean? Get a life. But I always wanted that about that too, because it'd be a lot of stuff floating there. Sometimes, when we was younger, I
Mhm.
felt like it was we supposed to address it. Now you just laugh at it because the
Yeah.
truth is the truth. You get what I mean? But
Yeah.
you mentioned your ex husband. First of all, respect to his memory, respect to his life. That was my boy. Like I knew if he walked in, it was lit. It was lit. Like
Yeah.
he was lit. He wouldn't let me not be lit. Like at family
Yeah.
functions, it was like Mikey dance. Like it was, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We had a good time. And I don't want to get on to what happened. If just for those who I guess don't know. He was I don't know what we could say on YouTube. So he was unalived, I guess we could say, and it was even
Mhm.
that has a bunch of rumors and
Yeah.
stories tied to it. I felt like that time period was a power episode. Like I said, we lost a lot of family members and we lost a lot of loved ones, but I've never experienced losing a spouse or like
Mhm.
somebody I'm in a relationship with. So I know that hits different. How was it continuing living in Raleigh, doing your day to day, going back to your job, hearing all the noise,
Mhm.
still going out to the club, still running your store,
Mhm.
still running into people who everybody talking. I mean, to this day, I feel like that's a topic. Uh,
Yeah.
how was it just keeping your head up and just like, because I admire how you just still had your head up and you still kept it moving. Like, what?
Yeah.
How was that? Did you feel like you had to? Because I would have
That's
moved, or somebody people move out there. You know what I mean?
yeah. It's a loaded question, but I kind of like run it down. So, of course, initially after his passing, the rumors were more about trying to point fingers on people who may or may not even been involved. And, what people got to understand is y- I'll put it out there. I believe in an eye for an eye. That's not the issue. But you also got to think about like it's a lot of stuff that's going to come behind it. So when they trying to point fingers and put people in harm's way, it was an opportunity for me to really sit back and be like, let me see how this is going to play out, right? And I lost friends, people I thought were friends. So that took place. There were some people I met through him that I considered close to me. And at the end of the day, like, they started moving funny.
Yeah,
Maybe she had something to do with it. To even question my loyalty to that man is insane, because if you know that can never be questioned. Um, Even situations that play out where it's just like you got to really protect yourself because you don't know who's really out here for you or against you. And I think that's what helped me really move through the city with confidence because at the end of the day, like, I don't know if it's the New York in me, but like, don't no fear pumping my blood.
yeah.
I'm outside dolo, my head up high. I know what's for me and I know what's not for me. So, I move with grace. I'm still getting money. It ain't stopping my show. Still out here making things happen for the community to the best of my ability, like giving back, doing peace, stop the violence, any type of community events that we can do because gun violence is serious. This man was shot 6 times. He didn't deserve to go out like that. Nobody deserves to go out like that. So, creating awareness about grief. Had a
Mm-hmm.
short book
Mm-hmm.
that went on Amazon not too long ago. It was number one. It's number one on Amazon right now. And I talk about my story of as far as the depression, the people who were truly in my corner then and is still around now. They could get anything you need or want. If I got it, they can always have it because a lot of people show their true colors.
And I wanna stay there because how did you handle the true colors part? Let me say something, Mo. You know how we were raised. You know what we see. We was raised on certain codes and certain morals and certain movements, certain
Hmm.
things. A lot of people are not on anymore.
No.
When people started moving funny, when the friends
Uh-huh.
that I felt didn't jump when you jumped,
Right.
or felt like that's your life. I'm just here to party. I'm just here to have a good time. But when it gets real,
Yeah.
I don't know nothing about that.
Right.
How you feel about? Because I feel like everybody is
I
not built for the streets or built for this stuff. They might enjoy it, but they're not built for it. So how do you feel about
yeah.
that?
I had to sit up a little bit for this one, but
Yeah, I saw you
you
adjust
know,
yourself. Yeah.
yeah, because at the end of the day, I'm authentically me. So when even when he was here, they knew if they went out with us, we're gonna take care of them. We're gonna party, we buying bottles, we getting sections, we whatever it is, we're gonna show you a good time because we rock with you like that. Like we're bringing you into our personal space. And so even before then, things would pop off, people would run. Now y'all ain't about that life when it's time to get busy, leaving me out there by myself. But at the end of the day, my loyalty can never be questioned, at all. And even after his passing, my loyalty still can't be questioned. I gave my life to Christ in September of last year, but I'm still a work in progress because there's days I wake up and I just be like on my mind, like I just wish somebody say something to me. You road rage or something, like bump me at Food Lion, like do something because I just
Yeah.
got that itch, you know? But I think
Mm-hmm.
it's growth too, and being able to like still keep moving forward. But definitely people ain't built the way we were raised back, the loyalty ain't there, the respect ain't there. They really ain't got your back. They act like they do when it's convenient. So for me, I know that, right? And I have a couple people I feel like I don't have to question. I'm putting my number one out there right now. I know I don't ever have to question Tressa. If I move, she moving. And
Shout
that's
out to
it.
Tressa.
If I call at 5 in the morning, she getting up. You get what I'm saying? So like it's some people out there I don't have to question, but then I have some people where I know if that fight go down, I'm gonna be out here doing it by myself, and I'm okay with that. It is what it is. I ain't running.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But you know what? Just real quick, and I ain't gonna say this long. Real quick, I don't have a record. Like I don't have. I've been in handcuffs, but I've never been like booked. You get what I mean? I've never
Mhm.
went to jail. You know what I'm saying? And I'm
Yeah.
not gonna sit here in front and say I lay down sometimes and replay things. I'm talking about back to third grade. And I be like, yo, I should have slapped this, or I should have beat, I should have choked, I should have because
Uh-huh.
you lay back and you be like, yo, I walked away, or I handled that a little different, or I didn't respond how I was supposed to
Hmm.
respond, but I should have. I should
Right.
have a record, bro. I should be, because just it's out of respect. A lot of people lost their lives
Yeah.
and lose their life because they felt disrespected, because their ego was messed up. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So I get it. I get people that walk away and people that it's just not about their life. But don't play like you about that life either, because when it's time to go down, it doesn't go down. It's time to go down. So
Exactly.
when it went down and you lost your husband, like forget how you felt about him. Like this is a wife and a husband, and you had people show their true colors and move a different type of way. I'm sure it hurt. Did
Hmm.
it hurt? Or
No,
it was
it
one of
it
those like take it to the
definitely hurt.
chin.
No, it definitely hurt. And I ain't going front. Like 4 years, this Friday it'll be 4 years, April 25th. And I still feel away. Like it's some people that I'll never hang out with. Like I can never allow you back into my personal space. No matter how hard you try, at the end of the day, grief impacts people differently. I get
They
that.
do.
But if your loyalty switch up, you were never loyal from the beginning. So
Yeah.
because I peeped that, you can never come back into my personal space. One situation in particular, like I was uninvited after receiving the invitation to a dinner because people at the dinner felt some type of way about how I was moving after my husband passed. You can't make me wear a wedding ring every day with the reality is I'm coming home to no husband. Like that's traumatic. For anybody
It
to
is.
even expect that of somebody
Mm-hmm.
is absolutely insane. Like for real. Or what people didn't know is that I know a lot of people and I've always known a lot of people. As you were stating, I've been here for a long time and I used to party 5 days a week. So anybody that know me from back in my party days, like now that I'm going through a situation, people were popping up like, yo, you good? Let's hang out. Next thing you know, I'm in 25 different relationships according to the rumors. But instead of checking, everybody just went with their own belief, like, yeah, maybe she had something to do with it, or I can't believe she moved on already, or why she ain't wearing her ring, and you know what, we don't even want her around us. You could never come back from that. And I do a balloon release every year, birthday celebration every year, and you know what? I kill them with kindness. Oh yeah, here's the invitation. You're gonna pull up because I'm gonna make you uncomfortable. You got to look at me and know that you treated me or tried to treat me funny and I'm still moving with grace. That's going to kill you more than anything.
that moving with grace. I'm older now, so it's getting easier, but it's still hard. That moving with grace, killing with kindness. Because I once you move kind of crazy, you dead to me. It's static, like but I'm
Yeah.
trying to just smile and let let revenge speak
Yeah.
for itself. The success speaks for itself. So speaking of success, though, because I feel like anybody looks on the outside and you look successful. You look like you on your job, you doing your big one. You know what I'm saying? Whether that's again in that corporate space or in your entrepreneurial
Mhm.
space. That you had a book on Amazon. You just said it's a bunch of things. You're working on sets for movies and it's a bunch of stuff going on. Even and then I know you have stuff that you don't even discuss that's under wraps that's gonna eventually pop off. Like that's why it's so funny when people have so much to say because if you were busy and had things going on as well, you wouldn't be talking about nobody else's
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
Um, so with all of that being said, with what we just talked about, how are you today, and how are you
Yeah.
using that as fuel to get all these projects done? Did you put
Mhm.
all of that into your work?
Yeah. It's a pro and a con, to be honest, because I put a lot of energy into staying busy. Staying busy with productive things, things that may not pay me today, but will pay me in the long run. Networking, being in the right places at the right time, being able to really, create a foundation for a career outside of corporate. Because a lot of people know 20 years in the financial industry, um, that's a lot of people know me from that. But then you have people who know, like, okay, she has a boutique, or as you stated, wardrobe stylist opportunities that I don't even really talk about on social
Yeah.
media like that.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, like, I sit back sometimes and people see I be on these different trips, but a lot of my trips be business. I sit
I've
back,
seen.
I'm in
Hold on.
these.
Let me interrupt. Let me
Go ahead.
interrupt. And I don't know how safe this is to say, but I've been in the car with you. And shout out to shout out to my brother, your cousin Madrid, because Madrid, we gotta let
Uh,
Madrid tell the story. We've watched you drive, speakerphone, calls are being made, emails are being sent, laptop over here, phone is over here, but you get and we got to go. I see you in the passenger seat, and you really be like handling
mhm,
business no matter where we're at a restaurant. We outside having fun. You got to hold on 1 second. You got to send your it's
mhm.
it's crazy to watch, and it causes you anxiety because it's like just wait, just stop. But you really be
Yeah.
thing, and I think it's so funny to watch, but it's also admirable because you really be handling business though. It don't just be like I'm just talking to my friends. You really be like running things like
Yeah.
from wherever you're at. And I think that's dope. And I was worried in the beginning when you continued on, but like I said, grief and mourning looks different with everybody.
Mhm.
Everybody just don't corner and close the door. You continued, and
Yeah.
that was your way of healing and keeping it going. Has faith been something that's been keeping you together as well?
a, a lot of people don't may not know this, but Ricardo was heavily into faith based. He
Mm,
prayed every day, if not multiple times a day.
mm,
From our very first date all the way to the day he passed, we never missed a day of prayer together.
mm.
Every Sunday we read the Bible, especially when COVID hit, we couldn't go into churches. So we got into online church, and he'll read his scripture and I'll read, and we can't talk in the meantime because he got a process, and then he want to debate. Well, this is what it
Wow.
said, and you know how aggressive he was and how he spoke. And so, but it was very eye opening because God had his hands on him in different ways, on me different ways. And trauma bond is a thing. And so
Yes.
knowing that we were even closer due to childhood trauma and stuff, we were able to use God as a way to keep our communication going. He had sticky notes in our bathroom that he wrote the first day he ever came to my house. Loyalty, honesty, communication, keep God first. These are four things that he said we were going to live by no matter what challenges we were faced. God was always going to be in the midst. So after he passed, I was angry. I'm gonna just put that out there. I was so angry. I couldn't accept the fact that he was gone because in my mind, I need somebody to feel what I'm feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Like you gonna feel this, whether you feel it today, you feel it in 5 years. Like the pain and the anger was out of control. To the point where I just ain't really care. Like people saw me moving. I was traveling. I was doing all the things that he and I enjoyed doing, going to places that were on our bucket list, still making things happen, even though, he wasn't here to experience it. But after that anger started going away, then I was depressed. And one day, Cece called me. Shout out to Cece for this phone call. And she was
What up,
like, yo,
C?
you wildin'. You wildin'. Check me. I know you going through it, but you out here wilding. You need to sit down. You need to regroup. And that conversation put me in a mindset like I need to accept my reality. Shout out to the doctor for putting me on the pills that make me feel
Hey,
good and the sky
hey,
blue and the birds chirping and all that good stuff.
hey.
But my mind is clear. So now I'm able to get back into scripture and think through like positive ways to cope with my experience because um, it's definitely a traumatic experience. I still have PTSD in large crowds, festivals, and things of that nature. I don't go. I would love to go, but I don't go because just knowing that many people is going to be there. And in my mind, I'm thinking, what if something happens? Can I get out? Or what would be the next tragedy? I just stay out of it. I go to places I feel like I
Mm-hmm.
could maneuver and get in and out
Mm-hmm.
fast. So, God plays a major part in my life right now. And we be having some real conversations. I'd be like, yo, what's up? Like, we got we gotta talk about this. Yeah, remove these people who don't mean me well, right? Trying to cause harm, whether it's knowing or unknowingly. But bring the people who truly care about me closer to me. And I
Yeah.
could just see the difference in, how I move and the people around me move. So
The only
yeah,
reason why I'm sitting here talking to you today, and is because of God. I don't care where you saw me. I don't care if you saw me. I don't care what you saw me do, where you saw me at. You don't know that conversation, that connection. You don't know. That's the reason why I'm able to still look at you and speak to you because I believe in something.
yeah,
That's the only thing keeping me going. Because if it was up to me and my strength, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't. It would be a
yeah.
different situation. So
Would have been crashed out.
even you explaining something to even you explaining that Ricardo, people don't know that. People might look at him and have a perception of him of how he was moving out here in the streets and whatever, you know what I'm saying, doing what he know. You know what I'm saying? But they don't know how he was at home. They don't know how he was with the family. They don't
Mm-mm.
know how
No,
he gave it up on those things. And you don't and honestly you don't have to know. Like you get what I mean? You didn't have to
yeah,
know that. But it's good to
yeah,
share what you just shared because you out here doing what you have to do, you do better when you know better. And um
exactly.
your work by yourself and your connection by yourself will eventually show itself. It eventually show. So I
Yeah,
understand what you said when he passed. It was like, whoa, like I, I saw what he was doing, but maybe that was preparation for whatever. And that's a whole nother conversation. We could go in about
yeah,
grief all episode, but I'm glad out of everything you just said, you shared that because
yeah,
I remember you telling me, but I didn't know the details of that, and so it's good
yeah,
to that balance and that foundation was there. You get what I mean?
yeah,
And even with you.
yeah. The balance was definitely there. Um, the conversation was there. I knew how important God was to him, and before you
Hmm.
change the topic,
Hmm.
that man never believed he would live past 28.
He
So
would say
that's
that
the
out
reason
loud.
why, yeah, he would thank me every birthday and say, I'm here because of you. So when they say people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, I mean, at the end of the day, he impacts all three. I know I positively impacted all three. It don't matter how many side chicks he had in Raleigh. whether they were in Raleigh, Rocky Mount, Charlotte, I don't care. Because at the end of the day, they had zero impact on this man. Zero. You was just something to
Hey,
do for the
hey,
moment. And I changed his whole life. And I'm forever grateful for that. The
yeah.
relationship I have with his family, with his kids, like can't nobody ever take that from me.
So, in respect to that marriage and in respect to that, I was there. A lot of people wasn't there. I was there. I saw that. I was there. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to him. Shout out to that. I was there. I do. I definitely believe, and you could prove true. I believe that you are a hopeless romantic. I believe you do love, and you do love being somebody's wife and somebody's main girl. I do believe you like the relationship aspect of things.
Yeah.
So after all that you've been through, do you feel like that's still a thing, or has that shifted as well?
No, it's definitely still a thing. I just I I have issues, right?
Yeah,
Like
we
I
all don't we?
accept that I have issues. I accept that things are going to trigger me. I may talk them out. I don't know. I may spaz out. So dating the right person and where I'm at in my life right now is super important. Like you got to know you may wake up to a different person every day, right? Like I may look the same, I may not communicate the same, I may not act the same, and it takes a strong person to really be with me and to be around our family. Like if you ain't built, it
If
ain't
you
gonna
ain't built,
last. It ain't
it
gonna last.
is what it is, and I agree with that. I'm here for that. Listen, the closet boutique. Um, Shout out to your mom. I want to give her a shout out because if we don't shout her out, she's gonna definitely comment saying why you didn't mention me. So I want to give a shout
Right.
out to Money Mel, and I want to give a shout out to your sis, my cousin Paris Kane, and the whole family. I could keep going, but y'all know who y'all are. But I'm mentioning these two specifically because of the Closet Boutique, and a shout out to her.
My
Shout out to
mother,
our cousin. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say, my mother swears the business is hers.
Real
She
bad.
tells everybody she's the owner, real bad.
She give
She
extra
comes in
discounts.
here,
It's
she
a
gives
lot.
everybody extra discounts. One day she sold a pair of shoes for $10. Like she's only
But you gotta
allowed one
love
day
her.
a month.
You gotta
Yeah,
love her.
she know how to make it happen.
Shout out to Paris. Shout out to your mom. Shout out to, we mentioned my brother. We mentioned our cousins. Everybody has a business. Everybody has something. I think our whole family is very talented and very gifted and
Yeah,
very gifts and talents and to move and shake. And I don't know where we got it from. Maybe we got it from grandma. I don't know where we got it from. Grandpa. I don't know. But like we all know how to like. I've watched everybody be in a room and move the room. I've witnessed it. How we all just
yeah,
got that. We all just got that thing. I've watched people really be like jealous and really like. And I don't think jealous is cool, so I'm not like bragging about that. But I've seen people just really don't like the light that I think we all have, and especially when we're all together, it's nothing like it.
yeah.
Um, so shout out to everybody doing anything. What do you want
Hmm.
to do with the closet? Because right now we're in like a virtual world, and we're in like a
Uh-huh.
everything online, and you're still sticking to. And I know somebody else who has a boutique up here. Actually, I need to give you his information, but he puts do not do online orders. Show up, like you know what I'm saying. It's
Right.
successful. Come feel the clothes. Somebody has
Yeah,
to still stick to the essence of the fashion industry, coming
right.
in and wearing it and feeling it and making a decision based off that. So is that one of the reasons why you still
Definitely.
keep the store open and still create an experience, a shopping
Yeah.
experience? You get what I mean?
Yeah, it's definitely an experience. So we sell pieces. We
Mm-hmm.
don't have every size, we don't have every color. Sometimes people walk in and say, "Hey, I'm looking for sets." But that's just too easy. You're not going to find that here. Maybe downstairs at another store or a big department store, but we put looks together. And that is what I want to be known for based on what I know. That's how our reputation is being known and built currently. If you need something for any occasion, we should have it for you. If you want to have luxury looks at a boutique price, we got that for you. We're going to give you top-notch customer experience because people shop with people. So I can sit in my bed and order the same look. Might take me a little while to research it, but I can get it without getting in my car. People intentionally get in their car and come shop with me.
Yeah.
It's very intentional. They know I'm gonna take care of them. They know, I'm not gonna let nobody leave here looking crazy. If you can't fit it, you can't fit it. I'm gonna tell you, no, it's not an option. Try this, instead. So I think people really respect that, the honesty, and also things are affordable. I'm not trying to break the bank. I need you to be able to come shop with me on a regular. So if your budget is 100, 200, whatever your budget is, I'm gonna be able to accommodate that. And shout out to my loyalty customers because their loyalty points is crazy. They get 15, 10, and then they accumulate them. One lady spent $5 in here after using up all her loyalty points in one shopping experience. And so they appreciate it.
I'm here for that.
Yeah.
You have a lot of degrees, but what's the highest one that you have?
So I have, so I'll, so I have 2 degrees in psychology, a bachelor's and a master's. I have a pending doctorates in psychology as well. And I have a second master's in, I have an MBA. And so I could really do a lot of different things right now. The psychology part really is playing on me right now. I think I'm about to go back and get certified so I could really get into some
Mhm.
additional facilities and help create an impact. And but I love corporate America too, so that MBA plays a major part also. And still running a corporate office, it's something dope about being a young Black girl from Brooklyn, New York, who was a teen parent and homeless. You know,
And that's
don't
why I made
forget
you.
that.
That's why I asked you that, because I think it's dope to have to
Yeah,
be an education is dope. I think this is so dope that you have that education, and still could get in with the, you could do everything. I think you're so
yeah,
multi, like, you know what I mean? And I think that's why I
I,
mentioned, I think having education is a flex. That's why I told you to,
yeah.
you know, speak on it.
Yeah, no. Having that education got me in rooms that I would have never imagined.
Mhm.
Breakfast with the mayor and city councils and showing up with big executives at major games and floor seats and just being able to make sure clients are taken care of. When I walk in a room, they're not expecting me to deliver. I get a thrill out of that. Being able to really, really articulate why you should move in this direction with this company, or why, your impact that you may have on a community, and what is the Black community thinking, or what are some myths in the Black community that I can help put out there and make sure that these are some things that are not true. So yeah, education plays a major part, and I think too, just New York City, like growing up in a city prepares you for any and everything.
So I'm asking you, Modesta, what is your
Mhm.
genius?
My genius, I'm gonna say my mindset,
Mm,
just my ability to
mm.
adapt to any environment, um, being able to, make sound decisions in the moment under pressure. I deal with a lot of pressure sometimes, depending on the situation. So I'll say my mindset. My mindset is my genius. That's what's gotten me so far into life and helped me overcome so many obstacles.
Regardless of the circumstance, I'm here for that. Here for that.
Yeah,
Listen, I asked you everything I wanted to talk about, and honestly, I've learned stuff about you too since I've been sitting here. You never know nobody for real. Like, you never
yeah,
know for real. No matter how many floors you slept on with them, how many times they babysat you, you don't know what really
right.
goes on for real. But I've learned some stuff. Um, Anything else you want to say? I feel like any other statements you need to say to just your supporters and
Yeah,
people that shop with you, people that know you, people that come across you, and yeah, anything you want to
yeah.
say that you need to get let off real quick.
Um, Yeah, I really do like thank you to my circle. It's real small, but the accountability is important, and we got the cousins chat going, and our family is just wild and crazy anyway. But shout out to my cousins. We they talk enough junk and to me, and accountability as well, just like my friends. People who take the time to actually check on me. Thank you, because that goes a long way. People who really know me know when I get quiet, that means I'm working on a few things. I'm focused, not trying to avoid anybody, but I'm avoiding distractions, and that's something that's super important. Thank you for shopping the Closet Boutique and allowing us to keep our doors open, and
Hmm.
about to sign another lease. And I think I want to do like something big in celebration this summer, to celebrate the opportunity to be in business.
Yeah, call me so I
Before
could go ahead
COVID,
and host that
after,
thing.
yeah, after COVID. Yeah, I need you to host
Mm.
it for sure. But yeah, just your favorite words. Shout out to everybody. Like,
Everybody.
everybody plays a major part. Love lost nowhere. I wish everybody the best. I, Competition's not in my top five strengths. So if you competing with me, I don't even know, so don't don't even do it, waste your time. All that good stuff. God's good. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Easter, Happy July 4th,
All that.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. And